all the required parameters to enable the standby setup, right? So similar to that, for ZDL array also we need to enable the RKLog destination for that, so that it can read the data from directly from the redo, and it can apply all the changes to the like it will capture all the changes to the ZDLR appliance. So this will really help when we want to recover a database to a particular point of time. For example, just a minute back, if the database got crashed, and if you want to recover the database, so the real-time redo, when it is enabled, so it can ensure like there is no data loss. And the other configurations apart from that is like we need to create redo transport user. Here the redo transport user is nothing but a virtual VPC user, which I mentioned in the previous slide. So the VPC user resides on the ZDL array, and the same user will be allowing that to capture the real-time redo from the protected database. And that's the reason Oracle states like this virtual backup with this real-time redo, it is considered as a delta push. Here virtual backup is nothing but an incremental backups, whereas the real-time redo is just as I said, like it will be replicating all the redo information to the ZDLR appliance. And whenever we enable the real-time redo, it is required to restart the database to ensure that connection is properly established and the ZDLR appliance is able to capture the data. So here is another depict of like how to understand like how the redo will be transferred from the protected database to the recovery appliance. If you see, you can, whenever you perform a log switch, it will create an archive log, right? So before performing the archive log switch, it can even access directly from the online redo log buffers, and it will have the real-time sync happening with the recovery appliance. Also, whenever you perform, if databases suddenly got crashed, and before performing an like switch of RK log file, so the recovery appliance can immediately capture the data, and it can generate an archive in the appliance itself. So the delta store is like how the backups will be stored on the appliance, ZDLR appliance, like how the virtual backups will be stored. This in this example, we can see like the backups. You see like the in the blue color, it shows like that day 0 is the full backup, whereas the day 1 is an incremental backup. For example, on the after 1 week, I have performed an incremental backup. So when I take an incremental backup, it immediately creates a virtual backup using this both day 0 full backup and as well as the last incremental backup. So likewise, every day it will have the same kind of thing happening when we perform an incremental backup, so that we'll be having the complete full backup even though we perform an incremental backup. And yeah, this one, I think I have already discussed this, like when we restore a database to a particular day, so it will immediately create a virtual backups for us to ensure like the database is successfully having all the information for restoring them. So here, some of the space requirements on the Nexadata point of view, like on engineering system point of view, like how the storage nodes should be, like what kind of racks that are available on the appliance, like what kind of how much disk space that we need to have. We need to make sure like for the non-prod we no need to use a full rack, right? So for the non-prod we can have a base rack setup, so that it will have, because the most of the environments will be having non-critical data or less data on the non-prod systems. So for that, we can make use of the base rack, whereas the production systems, it is highly recommended to go with the higher configuration. And it all depends like the backup size, because like basically the database size and the backup size. For example, if since for example, if you are considering an 100 GB of database, and it is always recommended to configure to have double the size of space on the protected data on the recovery appliance for the protected database, so that it can ensure like it will have all the backups captured without any space. Otherwise, it can exhaust the space when the backups are continuously captured and the data is growing. So depending on the retention window again, we need to make sure like the space requirements are properly set. So for that reason, so before implementing the recovery appliance, we need to have the proper strategy and policies that are required for that backup configuration. I think this one I would like to show you like what is the protection policy here. So as I said, like the protection policy is like it will have all the information that is required for retention of backups and or like till what recovery window we have these backups on a, for the production or the non-production system. So when I say production, we'll always ZDLRA will always prefer to have the gold policy because it will have the disk retention of 45 days. Like we can have the backups available, and after that it can be either moved to tape backups or it can be purged. So like based on the requirements of the backups, so we'll be setting these policies. So either we can do these policies defined manually or from the OEM. So here I have shown you an example of, sorry, here I have shown you an example of how to configure it manually. All we need to do is just we need to uh, know the protected database information like the DB name. So we always deal with the DB unique name. To ensure like since if you're aware of data guard, so the DB unique name will be different from the like source and the target, right? So since it uses a real-time technology, so it always deals with the DB unique name to differentiate the protected database names with the ZDLRA catalog database. So the DBMS RA is a package. RA here stands for the recovery appliance. So using this package, we can either add the database or we can delete the database or modify changes. And all the operations administrative related to the RA data protected database, we can do it from this package. And using this, we can, for the very first time, we can just add the database on the on the ZDLRA catalog database. And after that, we'll be setting the space requirement for it. Here, if you see, like there is a reserved underscore space parameter, so which defines like how space that is needed, like estimated kind of thing. We can just ensure like the space properly set. And after that, we can set the protection policy for this. Here, if you see, like this is a standard policies that we can even create our own policy, but these are the default policies that we have. So we can set the branch policy. When we set the branch policy for like in the left side, you can see like either test on a dev, we can have this retention for 15 days on disk. So for that, we can set whether it is required for the bronze or silver or gold. So depending on that, we can set this protection policy as well. And once we set this protection policy and once we add this database on the recovery appliance, all we need to do is like we need to grant that access to perform the backups. For example, here you can see like the DB unique name and the username. Here username is nothing but the VPC username. So that's called a virtual private catalog. Here virtual private catalog username is nothing but RA underscore ORC103. So the same user, if you remember, like we will be granting access on the protected database also. so that it will have the communication established and it can perform the backups. And the first, like the above add database and the grant access to virtual private catalog should be done on the recovery planes. And the next one, the configuring the RMAN channels for ZDLRA should be done at the protected database. And I think we already mentioned this, like we need to configure the SVT tape channels with the proper wallet information and the SVT library path. Yeah. Moving on to the OEM, like OEM is more recommended when we are dealing with the ZDLRA because it can have the real-time redo configured from the OEM console itself, or else we can create it manually. But it is always recommended to configure the ZDLRA backups to the OEM console. If you see here, once we create the recovery appliance, like once we have this equipment in our data center and all the configuration is done from the OEM, you can see in the targets, you can see a recovery appliance tab option available. And using that, we can see like what kind of protection policies that it already have, or anything to be created newly, or if you want to add any databases. All these things we can be navigating from this option. And for like scheduling backups, these are the standard options in the OEM. Like from the availability tab, we can just navigate to the backup and recovery option. Again, we can schedule the backups. And there are multiple options here available, like the recovery catalog settings. That is one of the critical, I would say, when you're scheduling the backup. We need to make sure like uh, the catalog settings are properly configured, because in that recovery catalog settings, we can enable the redo, real-time redo option also, or else we need to enable it from the backend, connecting to the directly to the SQL conf and connecting to the protected database and enable the real-time redo. So this is the like console that you can see when you want to schedule a backup. Here, if you have seen the left side, the second option is Oracle suggested recovery appliance backup. So here we can configure the backups like all the incremental forever, and like you can perform a full backup also. Or else we can create a customized backups depending on the, if you want to perform like whole database backup or a table space backup, or if you want, since recovery appliance doesn't need to have an archival backup because it will since it when the real-time redo is enabled. So for that, sometimes if you feel like the real-time redo is not working and you may find some archives are missing, so for that, we can take the backup of archives separately, just to ensure like we have all the data available when it comes for a recovery, or when we are cloning the databases to a non-prod environment. So those kind of backups also we can schedule it here. So the prerequisite is like for the first time we need to have a level 0 backup taken. So we can choose the second option, and it will perform a level 0 backup. Even if we choose a level 1 backup by mistake, like it can consider that it is a it is that the database has been registered for the first time in the catalog, and it will perform a level 0 backup, and with that complete script, the RMAN script. So this is an RMAN script, which, as I said, like if you see here, the destination is like in the settings tab, and the destination is like a recovery appliance. So it is going to take an incremental cumulative backup. So like if there is a difference here, like there are generally when you perform incremental backups, so there will be two types of incremental backups. One is the differential and the other one is the cumulative. The cumulative, it will have all the data from the starting from the level 0. So whereas the differential will have the change of blocks from the just previous level 1 backup. So since ZDL array, as I said, like, it will create a virtual full backup. So it will always point to the initial level 0 backup, and on top of it, whatever the changes that happen, so it will capture all the changes just to ensure like it will have a level 0 virtual backup created when required for a recovery purpose. So for that, it is mentioned as a cumulative backup. So the backup mode is, again, it's an online backup because the database is already up and running when you perform a backup. So it shows as an online backup. And the media management vendor, so since it's a ZDLR appliance, this configuration is automatically captured from the Arman prompt itself. But doing this, like, to allow this, we need to configure that manually in the protected database for the very first time. So once we do it, it will automatically gets all the required information from the Arman prompt. Even the script is automatically populated based on the configurations that we set up. And one more point is like the recovery catalog username. You can see like in the above the scheduled Oracle suggested recovery appliance backup review. You can see the database name and the username, and here the recovery catalog database. If you see, it's a ZDL array. So the recovery catalog database is nothing but your ZDL array database on the ZDL array catalog database. And depending on the Arman script is it's a regular script for any backup. Like, it will configure the channels and it will take database. Only you can capture only database backup, or if you want, you can include archive log also. Here in this example, if you see, like, there is a database plus archive log, So you can even modify this script here, so that if you want to change this file, like the size of the backup or backup piece sizes and all, you can modify. It will allow you to modify here. And yeah, you see there is a note here. If a level 0 backup of the database has not already been set to the recovery appliance, then the first backup performed as part of the suggested strategy will be a level 0. As I said, like, it will automatically creates a level 0 even if you not mentioning a level 0 for the first time. Yeah, I think with this we have like covered the basic concepts and the ZDL array, like how the backups will be handled and what kind of methodologies that will follow for the like configuring the backups. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Prince. Actually, I have a question regarding that real-time redo transport you are doing, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Tell me, please.
Regarding that real-time redo transport, like, I want to know, like, are you that command you have showed us, right? Alter database, we have to set a database. It's been done by the target database, or it should be done from the GDLR database?
It should be done from the target database. When I say target database, it is a protected database. So we need to, yes, yeah, we need to configure those changes in the protected database, the Arman channels, the log archive destinations, and real-time redo enabling. So these things should be done from the protected database level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone have any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, if you want to put your questions, you can just post it on the Facebook page also. We will be responding to them.
Hi, Sagar.
Yeah, Charan.
Yeah. Actually, I have one query. So we can use RMAN backups and ZLRA backups parallelly in one environment?
Yes. For example, say like the ZDLRA node is down. Say like,
Okay.
so in that case, we can perform a disk backup parallelly. You can initiate an RMAN disk backup to ensure like you have a backup in place until the ZDLRA is back online.
Okay. ZDRR also will uses inbuilt RMAN only, no?
Yes.
To take the backup.
Yes,
Okay.
because it needs to communicate with the database, so it uses RMAN as a medium for communicate, like performing the
Yeah.
backups. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
how many nodes that GDLR database is having? Like 2 or 4? Like
The default is one. For example, if you want to replicate that ZDLRA to any other appliance, we can add another node for it.
okay, we can
Just for
add the node.
yes. Like based on the high availability, we can increase the scale of the nodes.
Okay. It's also the GDLR is like residing on the REC database, correct?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can have that RAC relate like high availability only when we add another appliance for it. Others will work as a single node database.
Okay, can you come again because your voice was breaking?
Sorry. Yeah. Once we add that another appliance for it, or like the DB node, you can create an rack architecture also.
Okay, so that the backup will be going to that particular database, correct?
Yes. Basically, like the catalog database, it will be mostly in a non-rack environment,
Okay.
like as per my knowledge. So yeah, if you want to replicate that data again to another appliance, just to ensure like there is no loss of like data, so we can replicate it to another appliance and we can have the another node configured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sagar. It was a nice
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Anjuna. Thanks, Sheikh. Yeah, and thanks everyone once again for joining this. So if you have any questions, feel free to post it in Facebook chat. Okay.
Okay, sure, Sagar.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Sagar.